It's control. It's controlling everything. It's once the government is controlling it, it's very hard to give back the control.
We're speaking now with Fang. She is the CEO of Okcoin and president of OKX, one of the world's largest crypto exchanges by exchange volume. Welcome to the show, the David Lin Report. Hong, always good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me, David.
A couple days ago, President Biden has rejected a new, well, at the time it was new, a new debt ceiling proposal. He said, I'm not going to agree to a deal that protects wealthy tax cheats and crypto traders while putting food assistance at risk for nearly 1 million Americans. So he's lumping crypto traders with wealthy tax cheats, were his words. Now, there's just the issue is here, there seems to be this attitude from the White House that crypto trading and investing is not a legitimate business and it's just used for either scamming or cheating on the tax code. What needs to be done, you think, to change this attitude?
First of all, if my household is running on debt and I cannot pay back my debt, I'm not going to just tell my boy, do not play on the computer. It's irrelevant. So, and then separately from because we as a business also run right balance sheet, our own balance sheet, right? We have to be very disciplined of our spending and our cash flow. We have to make hard decisions. Leaders are supposed to make hard decisions instead of pointing fingers. That's what I would expect of leaders for America.
Okay, but the leaders of America right now don't like crypto. My question is, will this attitude change in, I guess, the coming administrations, whoever that may be?
I think it will be interesting, right, to observe how the upcoming election goes. The good thing about U.S. is that the system does allow choices and correction. And we have seen quite a few candidates coming out pro crypto, pro Bitcoin.
Pro Bitcoin in particular. I mean, Ron DeSantis just
Yeah,
announced his presidential candidate, and he banned CBDCs in the state of Florida.
love
What
it.
do you think? Yeah, yeah. Comment on that, please.
No, I love it. I think that's the right approach. And I think will be interesting to see if this becomes a single issue for the election or not. Ultimately, what will I think what will happen is what happens to the macro economy, and people will see what are the pain points. And back to when Clinton was running for the presidency, he was talking about, its economy, stupid, right? It's really about some of the benefits and long-term sustainability for the economy that matters here, and whoever has a more sound policy will win. Arguably, we have been in a more limbo situation recently in U.S., and I think that's pretty obvious, not only to people in U.S. but also all the other people outside U.S. People have been asking what's going on in the country. And I hope that the system still have that ability to self-correct itself. But obviously, we have from an industry, we will do our part. We will do our part to correct the perception of crypto. We will again embrace regulation, embrace conversations and invest in technology to reestablish that confidence. But ultimately, I think when it comes to policy making and leadership, people will vote with their feet if the policy is not right. And at some point, people will see, hopefully. But I just don't think that punching the pain down the road is actually the right thing to do. Pointing fingers is not going to solve the problem. Pointing fingers at either a certain group of people or even someone outside the country, it's not going to solve the problem. It's the problem is within.
Just on the note of CBDCs being banned in Florida, you said you like the idea.
Love
Actually, you
it.
said you love it. All right. Why should we ban CBDCs?
It's control. It's controlling everything. It's once once the government is controlling it, it's very hard to give back the control. So I think we have to be very careful about that. Um, Blockchain increases transparency, and once you actually include the money piece into that and then put that under government control, we basically get the evil of two world, right? We're trying to push for more individual control and transparency and resilience through a more decentralized technology, more decentralized network. That's what Bitcoin is all about. Giving individual freedom and control, and all the I think that the trend of technology is just about that. The fact that right now we have very successful hosts like you who can actually be your own boss is all because technology is giving that empowerment to individuals, giving the tools to individuals, and freeing us from cooperation, from whatever that is. But money is the ultimate layer. If money can be controlled, it's kind of desperate, and you can actually see that in other parts of the world, in some other parts of the world, when the money is under control and it's not being properly used. It's just dystopian.
The one of the pro arguments for CBDCs is that using some sort of digital fiat would make transactions either cheaper or faster or both. And my question is, okay, can the government just not adopt an existing stablecoin then that would serve the same purpose?
Yeah.
There's been some rumors that USDC might just be adopted. How do you feel about using an existing stablecoin as a digital fiat for the US?
Yeah, I think that may as well work. And I also believe that our money has already been digital. Particularly in developed countries, cards and banking transfers, electronic banking transfers, and mobile payments have been very prevalent right now. So it's already digital. Yes, there are costs inherent in the system, and for micro cross-border transactions, the cost is pretty high. But I think that some of those legacy uh, um, frictions and hurdles in the legacy system is also reflected in the fact that the whole financial system, money system, is not moving forward with the rest of the world. When the rest of the world is more electronic and internet native and digital, and can happen right like that. Money is not internet native yet. The broader fiat money system is not internet native yet. Bitcoin is the first internet native money, right? And the most sound one. So um, I think that the only difference between Bitcoin and the already digital financial system is that it's more decentralized. It's taking away the central manipulation, and that's the real value of it. It's not the speed of it. The speed itself is not the real value. It's not 100 times faster. If I should put it that way.
So Bitcoin in itself, let's talk about using that as what you described it as a medium of exchange. It's not an issue of speed, you're right, but we've seen Bitcoin, first of all, the price has been volatile over its history. Some people would say that disqualifies it as a medium of exchange because it's very difficult to use that
Yeah,
as a medium of exchange and unit of account for that matter if it's very volatile. Second, as we've seen this year with development activity on the Bitcoin layer 1, the transaction costs have gone up because of the Bitcoin ordinals protocol, for example. And so it is susceptible to higher transaction costs if there's more developer activity, which should be a good thing. So, what can we do to fix these problems, which is price, well, we can't fix price volatility, but adopting Bitcoin as a medium of exchange, what needs to happen for that to occur? And second, can we use Bitcoin as a form of money? Can I effectively and efficiently pay my groceries with Bitcoin in the US?
I think at some point we will be. I don't think we're there yet. And if you ask me to do that, I probably will refuse to do it just because it's too valuable. It's a good, but there are other people would do, right? We just passed the Bitcoin Pizza Day, and there's value in that happening, even if it now turned out to be really expensive. But Bitcoin it starts with a settlement layer. I think we should not forget about that. Whether it's definitely not a medium of exchange or a unit of account yet. It actually, well, take it back. It's not a medium of exchange yet, that's for sure, because we talk about either CBDC or stablecoin. Because the volatility is still there, price volatility is still there, and I also believe that price volatility is its own feature that is actually great because it's early and it will have to have that volatility, otherwise it cannot grow to the point that it should. It is supposed to over time, but is it a unit of account? Yes or no, right? In physical world, it's not a unit account yet universally, but in the crypto world, it is. A lot of assets does have trading pair against Bitcoin. Yes, most of them also have trading pair against a USD, USDT or USDC. But I think we cannot say that it's not a unit account full stop. I think it is starting to pick on some of the anchor value there. We talk about the ordinal and all that. I think it's the crypto has never been short of drama and tribal disputes. And the reason for that is I think it's because just we are human and human by nature is very tribal. We always talk about us and versus them. Um, but I think it's great to see those innovations because Bitcoin is established as a permissionless network. No one is the protocol is already out there. No one is controlling it, and the ordinal is possible only because of the Taproot update that was published in 2021, which was also adopted by the developer community. And now that it's adopted, it's out there. However, people want to use it, you cannot control it. As long as it's settled and it's properly paid, and it's settled on the network, it's not immutable, right? We cannot force people not to use it. And I think it may turn out to be great for the network because now there are different ways to see value in Bitcoin and sats. And things will take the network has its own life, and I think we should embrace it. It may a lot of the experiments may fail, so be it.
Experiments are meant to fail.
Are meant to fail. Yeah.
And the successful ones live on. Bitcoin market cap dominance has been rising, as you know, over the last 6 months, 7 months. It's now at 47%. Bitcoin's market cap is now 47% of all crypto market capitalization.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that first on your exchange, OKX, that Bitcoin volume has picked up relative to the rest of the altcoins?
Yes, we do see well, I don't I think it part of it is also related to ordinal um trend going up. But also I think macro trends are even if they are painful, they continue to play in Bitcoin's favor. Uh, we actually had a informal conversation internally the other day, having discussing where we are for the industry as a whole, and my personal view again is that we are still very early stage because ultimately. For crypto to really bring value to us as a society, we have to provide value, and I firmly believe in free markets. I think the market actually, even if it is volatile and sometimes it's painful, it actually ultimately reflects the fundamental value. Why Bitcoin has always been king in crypto, because Bitcoin has very strong use cases. Right, its value as the money actually very strong. We're probably not feeling it that strongly in US or Canada or Europe, but in other countries like Argentina or Turkey and some of the other emerging countries where there's a lot more inflation risk, people take it without questioning it, right? They naturally come to either USD or USDT or Bitcoin because it's a natural safe haven for them in terms of value preservation. So there is a very clear value proposition for Bitcoin. And Ethereum, why Ethereum is next, because again, there is a very strong use case for Ethereum because developers are building on top of it. When can we see the whole space come back again? To your original question, I think when we see another wave of innovation where additional use case actually start to affect our real life, I think that would be when we will see another
What kind of
breakthrough.
use case would you like to see for not just Bitcoin but cryptos? I mean, ordinals inscriptions is fine. You can, I think Michael Saylor said he would inscribe his will on it. People have made NFTs on it. These are cool things. But what other applications would you like to see that could have also very real impact on our society?
If I really have the right answer, I'll probably go and build those startup assets. But
We support you, Hong. Go build your dreams.
no, my dream is here. I think this is fun, great fun to build. But I think a trap that we may fall into many times when in building product and building business is that we create problems for our solution. Um, but if we think about real success, right? It's actually there is always a problem, and then people try to look for the solution. Bitcoin is there to solve a real problem, which is in our current system, the money is controlled, money is false, which basically lead to a lot of other manipulation in the system, and we end up in this world, even in US, where the debt ceiling kept being, just broken or raised. And then we keep having these cycle of financial crisis and inflation risk. So there is a real problem here that is affecting everyone's livelihood. Now, what are the other real problems that is out there? I firmly believe that data is another issue, right? The concentration of data and data privacy with internet and big platforms is an important issue. Every one of us, when we use internet, our IDs get leaked, right? Our information get leaked. How can we actually continue to support being digital and developing and having that digital life without sacrificing our information privacy? I believe that that's a big thing that maybe crypto and technology and blockchain can actually help. For example, social media. Social media is great right now as is, but also the other pain is about information control. People tell you what not to do and how to distribute those information more openly and fairly. Is there a way to actually solve that through technology? Maybe. I'm pretty sure in other industries that are, I think, primarily more, digital native, there are situations like that we can probably hopefully see solution from the industry.
The biggest worry from crypto investors right now, at least the ones that I've talked to, is actually what's happening with exchanges and the regulators. As you know, Binance got sued by CFTC.
Yeah.
As Coinbase has their legal issues with the SEC. I'll just ask you straight up: have you been approached by regulators with Okcoin and OKX?
We always have a conversation with regulators in our jurisdictions, in US, in Europe, in Asia. We actually take a very proactive approach. We always have very open conversations with our regulators, either existing regulators or regulators to come. And it is our belief that I think we, as an industry, has been well past the early days of Wild West. On the one hand, we have to continue to focus on technology innovation and invest in that, and invest in disrupting ourselves continuously. But on the other hand, we have to be able to get comfortable and actually work with regulators and be transparent. From our perspective, we feel ourselves to be an open book. We are happy to work with regulators in all jurisdictions. For Okcoin, for example, we are in US. We are also in Europe. We have license going on in Singapore, for example. And then for OKX, we have been applying for licenses very aggressively too. There are a few that we have already disclosed and then a few that are in progress that we haven't started talking about because we haven't got to the point of talking about those yet.
I'm just curious, what are the regulators, specifically in the US, really looking for?
I think ultimately it's the bottom line is customer protection, right? I think that's really what regulators are looking for. I think in US in particular, what they are concerned about is, are you FTX? Are you another FTX? Are you misappropriating customers' fund without telling them? Are you working against your customers? I think that's the most important concern that regulators would have. So it's all about, first of all, internally, we have to do things right. And then second of all, we can be transparent about what we are doing to get get the regulators comfortable. And the other thing that we actually do is in order to increase that level of transparency and also hold ourselves accountable and help our customers hold ourselves accountable is to put automated proof of reserve program out there. We actually have been doing that for 6 months in a row for OKX. And it's automated, it's monthly. It shows basically the reserve ratio for right now. We actually expanded. We started with 3 assets, and now we expanded to 21 assets right now, with also zero knowledge technology that we have integrated into the program. And the protocol is actually open source. People can actually go and check the protocol, and if they are interested enough, they can run it themselves to verify if the protocol, the program has the integrity that we think we said that that we do. So I think it's a combination of all that, right? To make sure that people feel comfortable, regulators feel comfortable that you are actually not working against your customers.
Can you just elaborate a little bit more in layman terms how the proof of reserves process works, how the open source process works? For a lot of people who are perhaps new to the space, who are asking you, actually, that's a very good question. Now, how do I know Okcoin, for example, is not another FTX? How do you demonstrate this with the proof of reserve? So explain this process.
Yeah, sure. The proof of reserve program that we have right now based on 2 primary technology. One is Merkle tree, the other is ZK Snark protocol that was actually based on Vitalik's original proposal, but we made some adjustments to it. Basically, what it enables is for Merkle tree, the technology would enable us to take snapshot of assets at a certain point from the customers, and then it takes snapshot of our liabilities. So basically, liabilities are basically customers' asset they deposit on the platform, and the assets are basically all the assets that we hold in all the wallet addresses that we have, cold wallet or hot wallet, and then you compare those two and see if it's 100% or less than 100% or more than 100%. Merkle tree allow you to actually do that exercise without compromising without relying on third-party verification. So it can actually be independently verified. All the addresses that we are using, open, cold wallet or hot wallet, all the addresses we actually have been put out there for people to see. It's actually 18,000 addresses, plus more than 18,000 addresses we have put out there. People can actually go to those addresses and actually monitor funds inflow and outflow real time, anytime they want, right? And then last month, in our latest iteration of the program, we added ZK Snark technology because when we solicit feedback from community on the previous program we had, one of the challenge that we had is how can we because Merkle trees show the aggregate asset balance and the aggregate liability balance. It does not necessarily show individual customer account. For each individual customers, their balance and asset and liability are matched on our platform. In order to show that, there's potential trade-off between transparency and privacy, because we can provide full transparency, but we may end up having to post every customer's balance, and that's not good for privacy protection. One way of solving that and trade-off is to implement ZK Snark technology, which basically is a zero knowledge technology that enable us to show that every customer, their asset is fully reserved with us without showing customer information, detailed customer information. And every customer's balance is actually equal to or more than 100%. So it shows that their assets are safe with us. We're not using their assets to do something else. Again, as I mentioned, all the wallets are out there. The wallet addresses have been disclosed and put out there in the public, so people can actually see what comes in and comes out of the address. And we do this program also monthly, so the risk of the program being manipulated by the platform is less, because it's the cadence is there. Right. If you manipulate it, there is a pattern that you can see, in terms of fund flow. So I think this is something that we are committed to doing every month for the future, foreseeable future.
I understand that Okcoin also has yield products, right?
For Okcoin, yes, we did. But we actually took the DeFi Earn product down for US market for now. We will bring it back later, but for now we have took it down.
Can you comment as to why?
I think there's just a lot of uncertainty going on out there. We have been working on a lot of internal infrastructure building and many other stuff. We don't want distractions at this point, and it's easier for us to just take it down and later bring it back.
And I think consumers or customers would want to know how the yield is generated in such a product.
Yeah, the DeFi Earn product that we had is very much rely on the protocols that we connected to, and we make sure that the customers actually their funds are deposited into different protocols and get what each protocol actually generates. So try to stay out of the process as much as possible, except for kind of building that rails for customers to use it. But again, I think there is a new level of disclosure and transparency and in the current environment. So I think when we bring it back, we'll try to also increase the level of transparency when it comes to how things work.
I bring it up because the concern again with certain Celsius, for example, no one really knew how their yield was generated. Well, they were very clear about how it was, but it seemed to a lot of people that they took on excessive risk. And I think the issue here with all yield products, not just with Okcoin, but all yield products across the crypto industry now, people are concerned about how it's generated and how much risk is involved, and whether or not the risk return profile is correct or appropriate for investors. Can you comment on this?
Yeah, I think that that's fair. I think people should question. People should ask those questions, because otherwise, there's no free lunch, right? For platforms out there who are doing yield products, I cannot comment on their business model. We have seen some failures though last year that didn't work out well. From our perspective, we always think ourselves as a technology platform, so we intentionally choose not to be in that middleman where on the one hand we take customer funds and then on the other hand we invest that customer fund elsewhere and get the spread, and somehow that's just not the level.
That's how a bank works. Because a bank essentially you have deposits in the bank and then they loan out a certain percentage of those deposits to generate a spread. A lot of crypto exchanges and management firms like Celsius, for example, sort of borrowed that model, except took it to an extreme, and that's when the problem started.
Yeah. I think it's important for we internally have made very intentional decision not to do that because that's not the business we are in. We're just not in a balance sheet business model. We're focused on technology innovation.
I'm curious as to how the traditional financial banks, the biggest ones, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, and so on, are adopting cryptocurrencies now. When you were at Goldman, when you were working there before your current career in cryptocurrencies, was there a lot of talk of potentially integrating cryptocurrencies in their existing trading platforms or providing crypto services to clients? Goldman, for example, has had a crypto trading desk. But
Right.
when you were there, was there this attitude of adoption or no?
No, no, that was too early. Yeah, I left in 2016, so it was too early for big banks to adopt it. Um, I would welcome traditional players adopting it. That being said, I remember when I was at Goldman, we did we service a lot of payment clients, and there was a period when mobile payment was really a big theme in US. A lot of incumbent was trying to be part of it. I remember actually, apart from the payment startups who was trying to push payment, Apple was also trying to push right through their piece. Visa, Mastercard, even the AT&T. They also form a coalition, which I remember was called ISIS, which was a bad name picked, ISIS, to promote mobile payment wallet. And going without saying, nothing actually materialized except for, Apple, right? Apple actually make it work. Many other like supermarkets like Target, Amazon, no, Amazon, Target, I forgot, Walmart maybe, was also trying to push their mobile wallet solutions. A lot of incumbents were trying to push. What I was trying to say is, I think when it comes to um, promotion and adoption of new technology, it's really hard for incumbents to really do it and do it well.
What I don't understand is why a big bank cannot just have an exchange like Okcoin. I mean, is it regulation like the SEC or the FDIC would not allow them to do so, or is it simply not in their business model? Certainly, it's not a matter of talent. I mean, people like you came from the banks, right? So what's holding them back?
I guess they don't have a founder who actually believe in the future of crypto. No, well, it is a lot of investment into technology. We actually have a team on OKX investing in technology very heavily. We build our Web3 wallet that can interact with the most number of chains out there compared to all the other self-custody wallet out there. That is a lot of investment into something that is new and you don't know what will come out of it, right? It's a lot of investment. Um, and it's also seeing certainty out of uh, 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 a lot of uncertainty. Um, it's hard. It's hard, and I think most of the bigger organizations they just don't have incentive to do it, and there's too much to lose. Um, and the mentality is different.
I'm curious, can I buy Pepe coin on OKX?
Uh, yes, yes, you can. That's one thing that I actually don't fully understand. But I have to acknowledge that I'm no longer in the younger generation anymore. I'm not the Gen Z.
Han, thank you very much for your time today. We covered a lot of ground, so I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Great pleasure.
And thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.